RPGamer here at PAX 2013. I'm here with Ben McGraw from Bread Brothers. But we can call you what?
Oh, Gru, yeah.
Gru.
I go by
like
Gru.
You have been eaten by?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Actually, the story about why I got that name is tied to the entire backstory of this game, but it's a long story.
It's a long story.
That's 17 years ago. But yeah, they call me Ben, they call me Gru, and in recent years, Ben Gru on Twitter.
Okay, well, we'll get into that backstory later. First off, tell us about Sully, a very serious RPG.
Well, this is a reimagining of a 17-year-old indie game that was called The Sully Chronicles, made originally by Brian Peterson, a very good friend of mine. And it taught a lot of us to make video games. It was one of the first independent RPG makers. It was the only RPG maker that was listed on Yahoo. That's how old this was. Later thing, it was a contemporary also of like the Hamster Republic engine. I think Terry Cavanaugh was a part of that, and various things. But it was like the big one at the top. And the original game was near and dear to like several thousand of us who later became either game industry professionals or engineers or artists. I decided when I decided I really wanted to get back into making RPGs because it's basically been a defining part of my life. I've been making little demos and jam game style RPGs for 17 years, and I really wanted to make a fully featured one, and it felt right to start that off with the thing that started everything off in my life. So I've reimagined it, and the game that was the Sully Chronicles is now Sully, a very serious RPG, because it's very serious.
Very.
And that's how we got here. So it's a character-driven comedic RPG, a serious comedic RPG. We're trying to go for more for a fantasy world, an RPG world where everyone in it plays it straight because it's their world. So like I'm avoiding, I'm very much trying to avoid fourth wall breaking.
Okay.
Some of it sneaks in, and the editorial pass is like, oh, we shouldn't mention that, you know. And it's really just it's a story about two teenagers, a teenage romance that are about to have a bunch of changes in their life because they're getting college age. They're going to go to different places, and they're going on one last adventure before Crystal goes to college on the other side of the world. And things happen. So do you want to set up for the scene?
Yep. Yeah, what are we about to look at here?
So this scene is actually slightly spoilerish. I know.
Spoiler warning.
What's happening here, this is after the intro sequence, the first town and the first dungeon. You know, after they've decided they should spend the summer together traveling, you know, instead of hanging out on Paradise Isle, which is basically fantasy Hawaii. Crystal is a native of Paradise Isle,
okay.
A race known as the Ancients, but in this context, basically just native islanders, you know, and they have gone at this point. This is now at Darren McDaring's family farm. You know, the boyfriend is a farmer, and they are stopping there to get provisions on the way to the rest of the world.
Okay.
So shall we?
Yeah, let's jump in.
Would you like to do the driving?
Sure.
Please. I would rather you experience it as a human.
Okay.
I don't have a D-pad set up right now. You just use the arrows, and enter will be the.
All right, so I see a rabbit, and it talks. It likes carrots.
Talking animals, kind of part of this world, just played straight. So,
okay, so we got tutorial bunny. All right,
yeah, we're still in the first. So again, before we go on,
yeah.
You've played through an entire dungeon with these two.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's been banter, establishing the relationship and whatnot, and now we are getting to this section.
All right.
So
Getting to this section. Got it. Hold on. All right. Uh-oh. Apparently we found the boogeyman. It's got a good evil laugh. Ah, wow, I see. Well done. Every single one. Dark Lord Stan. Mm-hmm. Yay, battle system. Whoa, that's a graphical shift.
Yes. It's definitely low res and widescreen low res in the map screen, and more of a Valkyrie profile, full frame animation in the battle system.
Yeah.
It's going to be less of an overwhelming shift for you in production. The transition, as you saw, was lacking.
Yeah.
I'm working on other things before that, but with JRPGs specifically, the whole there is an established pattern that the map play and the battle play do not need to match.
Right.
So
you just really amp that one up to 11 in this game.
Yeah. In future games, I would like to do everything like this, but we're on a budget, and Brian, who does this amazing art, Brian Rathman, who is the original character artist of Dungeons of Dredmor, he went to SCAD for animation, and he really is just. I mean, this is great, right? So I would love to be able to afford him full time, but that's a maybe if this game
does
well.
That's a second game sort of goal. So. Yeah. All right, so it looks like I can do some different things here. My favorite one so far is giving the enemy's psyche a sound thrashing. So I'm going to chastise. Maybe not the invincible one.
Oh, and it's got. Sorry.
I had to do things.
Right. There are two different real-time interaction elements to this battle system. What you just saw was the timed attack one. So it's like a little like the Super Mario RPG mechanic, with more visual indicators. And
can't go back. Right.
So we are jumping into the middle of the game. Well, not the middle, but you've already.
I should already know how to play by now.
Yeah. And.
I haven't done anything yet.
Oh, his action was to laugh at you.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's a surly, invincible demon. Mash. Yeah. And,
oh, that didn't do much.
So, let's see. I was just trying to think about what I should be telling you here. If you see here, at the bottom, it tells you, a description line of the thing that you've selected. And you'll see that some things have positive magic points.
Oh, okay.
And if in the top right corner, you see that they've got magic point indicators.
Right.
So, more powerful effects cost magic points, but your native effects, your attacks and your character-specific ones, will
give it back to me.
Yeah. And so that's how we were dealing with the timing balance kind of issue you see in a lot of games. It was a design choice we made because of we wanted to heal everyone at the end. Timed attack. Yes. All right. I'll just shut up for this.
That's not working well. Right. I need to heal, but I have no NP.
So yeah, this is where some strategy. Oh, sorry. This is canceled.
All right. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Oh well. I'm going to lose badly, but maybe I'm supposed to.
Yeah, it might be one of those staged battles. when you're fighting someone named Invincible Lordstad.
Well, I just want to kill the sidekick. Uh-oh. Okay, that wasn't fair.
I know.
And it gives me a game over.
That's always a problem.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, CrossFit will do that. Oh, wait, he kidnapped the guy. Oh boy. Toodles. Well, that sucks.
So that's the first major scene after like your like walkthrough dungeon tutorial section, and Crystal is the main character of the game.
Okay.
I've been debating about. So I said it was spoiler-ish.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to bury the lead. Because you, as the player, you start playing as Darren.
Yeah.
And I just wanted you to feel like, associate with Darren and just be like, yeah, I'm the player, I'm Darren. It's a blonde kid and having an adventure. This is, I've played this game before.
Yeah.
And then, ha!
Turn it around on you.
Yeah, the rest of the game, Crystal is the main character.
Okay.
It's not a strict. And I want everyone to know, this happened well before before any of the feminist frequency stuff came out.
Okay.
I'll get to why it happened like this shortly. But first, it's not a strict Mansell situation. Like that's not the point of the game. You about at the mid-game plot point, you get Darren back, but Crystal is still the main character after that.
Sure.
Darren's just in the party and things happen.
Yeah.
So yeah. And have you seen the feminist frequency stuff?
I've seen a little bit of it.
So I was surprised. The reason I went with this was the original game, the Sully Chronicles from 1997. It was written by, a 17-year-old, fed the tropes of, he was a huge fan of Lunar. He was a super huge fan of Phantasy Star. In fact, his online handle was Han. So, the original game, Crystal gets kidnapped, and you find her in 2 more dungeons in an evil lab, imprisoned in a crystal. So you find Crystal imprisoned in a crystal, and when I was going through the game and just like sketching out all of the things I would be doing in the improved and reimagined game, I got to this scene, and at that point I was planning on Darren being the hero the entire time. I watched the scene and I'm like, this is just boring. There's nothing fun here. I mean, it was kind of a fun scene. The writing was okay and stuff, but it was still just kind of ironic. Oh, is this where I'm supposed to be helpless here? Eek, eek, save me. And it was just, I didn't like it. So I'm like, well, I don't want to go. I mean, part of this is about a generic rescue. I'll just role reverse, and it wasn't out of any kind of high-minded desire for good or for ill. It was just because I was bored with seeing that situation again. And after that, I had to rewrite the entire plot after that, and which was good. Yeah. I enjoyed the exercise, but it was like I made that decision. Oh, let's see. Oh, it has to be 13, 14 months ago. So it's everything has developed well since. But like everyone I showed the scene to loved it, and I'm like, oh, I'm good, yay.
Going on the right track.
Right. So about the feminist frequency thing. I hope you can edit this to be more sane. So I backed that, and I've been enjoying them. And the first episode is about damsels in distress.
Right.
And I was not aware of the story of was it Dinosaur Hunter or Dinosaur Planet? I think. Don't quote me on that. It's not like perfect in my mind. Which was a it was a game that like starred.
That's the Star Fox one?
Jumping the gun.
Yeah.
Originally, it was a female lead, strong character, even has a staff with a crystal on it.
Right.
Which,
yeah.
Parallel development. But, and she was the hero. But someone at Nintendo was like, I want this to be Star Fox Adventures. So they took that character and instead of making her the hero, they damseled her and put her in a crystal. Yeah. So unintentionally, and I swear to God,
You didn't know this before.
I didn't know this entire story at all. I never played Star Fox Adventures. I didn't hear about Dinosaur Planet, and I inadvertently reversed it just because it was boring. Right. I mean, like. Literally, putting a damsel named Crystal in a crystal is so cheesy and hackneyed that a 17-year-old making a parody RPG will do it. Yeah. And Nintendo did it straight-faced. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. So, I guess I am saying I'm better than Nintendo. I'm not better than Nintendo. Well, I like you guys.
Nowadays, as far as their RPG handling goes, the argument could be made.
They used to be so. They were the chosen ones. The Super Nintendo era was my era. Yes. I mean, Lufia 2, Final Fantasy 4 and 6, like Desert Island RPGs. Anyway, and even lesser titles like Robo Trek and well, not Paladin's Quest. Anyway, but I digress. I digress. Yeah. End of rant there.
End of rant. So what else you got to show us?
Let's see. What can I show you? So here's earlier in the game. So, and here we are rolling. Okay.
Okay, so there's a clam following us, isn't there?
Yes, there is. So this is after the intro sequence, and Darren has been delivered the news that that Crystal's going to college, and he didn't know. I mean, this was one of the overwhelming arcs, one of the overwhelming themes of the game is that everyone is, to some degree, self-interested. You know, like in the real world. I find that that most RPG characters don't really have strong motivation, they're very two-dimensional characters, and like I've been trying to portray these people as having real lives and motivations. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's like Darren dreams of being an RPG adventurer because that's, you know, being a hero that explores ruins and beating things up is just a thing you can do in this world. It's like, that's what he does. But he's also like, you know, kind of a rich kid that doesn't know he's a rich kid. Because, you know, it's not that he's a dick, it's just that he has nothing to compare it to. His first you see, oh, he's a farmer, but no, his parents own a farm and there are people working on the farm and it's actually quite a lucrative business, and you know, he just comes at things from that point of view. And you know, Crystal is a studious orphan, and you can see why she's the hero because she has no family, but it's a requirement. But she's studious, but like she's also you know, a little at the beginning a little conflict avoidant. Because she just doesn't want to like upset anyone, and that's why she didn't tell Darren about going to college at first. But we don't come out and say these things. Right. I mean, it's up for you as the reader to read the reader. Well, it is kind of reading, but I don't have voice acting, unfortunately. Yeah. But it's up to you as the player to read between the lines, and hopefully the motivations make sense. Yeah. If I've done my job right as a writer. So I've got a lot of, you know, I learned from some of my like writer friends in science fiction that beta reading is a thing. So like games have beta testers, and novelists these days have beta readers, and it makes so much sense. Anyway, so I've been using that and making sure that like you know, as I iterate on the script, different people get to see it and give me their impressions to make sure that I'm, you know, this joke reads right, this all makes sense, there's no plot holes, and I'm not offending people, at least that I'm not intending to offend, because sometimes jokes are. But anyway, you asked me about the clam.
Yeah.
So this is after after the introduction, and during that entire sequence, Darren's clearing his head. He's like, he's delivered the news, and he didn't hear it. Crystal didn't want to upset him, and she eventually had to tell him, and he's just like, shock. I'm gonna go fishing because that's what I do. He's a fisherman. He's a farmer. He's like, kind of Tom Sawyer-esque.
Man of the land.
Yeah. But not really. I mean, he's got manicures. he's a tourist. He is literally a tourist.
Yeah.
Like his family comes to this island every summer, all summer.
Oh, goodness.
For the last 5 years. That's how they got together. And like, that's how you know he must be of money if you're reading between the lines.
Yeah.
And yeah, he is literally a tourist, but he doesn't get it. But he treats the entire world like that, you know.
Okay.
And so he's fishing in a boat. And he catches Sully, who's a talking clam.
Oh.
And Sully is kind of the most self-interested character of anyone in this cast. I would say he's probably the most. Evil's a strong word. He's definitely kind of got a. Roguish self-interest, and he here is clearly going to be eaten. So he basically convinces Darren that he can show him treasure, etc., etc., which spawns the entire motivation for the initial quest. More talking sea life. One of the themes of this game is there's a lot of talking marine life. It was in the original game, and I liked it anyway. So here we have Raoul, the leader of the crab gang. They're torturing Sancho.
How do you smoke a cigarette underwater?
Well, he's on the land right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is Sancho, the sad octopus.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah. Aha. Big googly eyes. All right.
And
wait, there's people playing. Okay.
It's just battle background.
I do like that background. That's pretty good.
That's a. Brian like kind of hid a just art reference to Top Gun there in the background, and I think that is a familiar castle.
The Sandcastle? Isn't it from like Little Mermaid or something? Or
Symphony of the Night.
Symphony of the Night. Oh, okay. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Brian's put a lot of his own.
It's a lot of work to put that castle.
He loves hiding things or not so hiding things. And it's a very West Side Story.
Well, yeah.
Gang. They're greaser crabs. So.
I do appreciate crabs with
pompadours.
Pompadours. That's the word. Goodness. Darren feels very weak to me. I must be.
Actually. So, as you might,
that's the point.
No. As you might be aware, the game is in development, and we were focusing mostly on getting asset complete and everything in first.
Right.
And we are now just now getting to the battle balance section, and unfortunately, this may not be the most balanced battle yet. So for those of you watching at home, this is not the strategy you'll be using to beat these. In fact, this is going to be like, one of the. This is your first mini boss battle.
Sure.
These guys come kind of reappear throughout the plot.
Yeah.
And it's the first gimmick battle. Like they all buff themselves and use the bullet thrust eventually. But at this point in this build, I would suggest chastising them to death.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. And I notice the clam isn't doing anything.
Okay, so
He's a jerk.
let me talk about that. There is a seafood menu in this game. Actually, you'll get to this after the introduction is after this battle.
Oh, okay.
He's not acting right now because like we're also working on that right now.
Okay.
You can equip one of your seafood followers at any time. You can find up to 8 of them, and each of them has a set of random unique abilities that they do, kind of like capsule monsters in Lufia 2.
Okay.
Or like the direct inspiration was Null.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, because Null and Lunar would sometimes
just fly around.
He'd fly around, occasionally heal you, occasionally do a swipe, and I was like, well, that was a cute idea, but what if we had like actually useful things, but like limited use things? So like Sully will do defensive attacks. Shell. He's a clam. He does shell. And you're about to get Sancho, the sad octopus, and he does status effects. He uses sadness to make people sad. So, and blinds people with his ink.
Excellent.
He's so sad.
A chitin intolerance. Oh, goodness.
Sully's a liar. Sully's got a heart of something.
A heart of coal.
He doesn't have the best self-esteem.
No, he really doesn't.
No.
Excellent. As seafood helpers. As a two sads.
That's his name, yeah.
Oh, show the sad octopus.
That's correct.
Oh, that's great. So let's get down to how is this game coming to be? You guys are about to launch a Kickstarter, right?
We are in the phase of finalizing a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
This has been largely out of pocket, and we are nearing completion. And we're over budget. And by over budget, I mean I'm broke.
Okay.
The game is definitely going to be made.
Yeah.
I have to take on contract work right now just to pay rent.
Sure.
A friend of mine floated me a loan, so I didn't have to choke in credit card debt. It's the Indie Game Story. You might have heard of this.
Yeah.
And I've been paying my artists because their contract work is making art. Making this art is their livelihood. I mean, they're friends, but I don't want my friends to starve, so I have been making sure to pay my friends.
Yeah.
Because, and there is rev share, but I need to make sure that they have a livelihood. But I'm near the end of my largesse, I think is appropriate here, and I would like to see the game made to the level I want. I want this, all the bosses to be nicely animated. We're about halfway there, and I need more money for that. I mean, I've already cut features like the animated backgrounds for now, and we've actually trimmed down the plot, which might have been a good thing because plot brevity can be
that can go either way. But a lot of times that can help. Yeah.
But I mean, there are things that I wanted to happen in the game that I'm starting to look at and be like, well, balancing shipping and not being broke. And making the exact thing that you wanted. So we are in the stages of planning a Kickstarter to finish the game, to the level that we wanted it to be. Yeah, I don't know if there's many Kickstarters that do mid-stage funding. Usually it's a please give us money to start this project, and here's a bag of wishes and promises. I have a game of realness and playability. A
near finished product that you can show that you just want to make it better.
I just want to make it better. I don't want to have to cut all these things that I wanted to do.
So,
like,
so do you have like a list of features that you'd be putting up on the Kickstarter? Like if we get here, we're going to be hitting these extra features in the game then?
Yes.
You've already got your stretch goals planned. So what's like the basic point of the Kickstarter allows you to do what? Like hitting goal 1?
Hitting goal 1, make sure that we can have all the bosses will be fully wonderfully animated, and make sure that that I can focus on the game to the point where I don't have to contract.
Okay.
I mean, when I contract, it's like I have to fly. I'm a software engineer, so I have to fly to an on-site and do things.
Sure. It takes you away from the game is the point. So this would allow you to focus more time on the game.
Every time I go on site with a client, it's basically a week of that is taken away from me, and it just delays and delays and delays. And like switching mindsets is difficult.
Yeah.
So like there's some downtime between the mindsets, and I want to be heads down all the time on this, without becoming homeless.
All right, so a few details that I like to cover. One, what is the most ridiculous bonus item that you're offering for your Kickstarter? Like sometimes people will have a statue built for them, and sometimes you're in the game. Do you guys? What's like your $25,000 donation or whatever it is?
I mean, if you're looking for the most ostentatious thing,
sure.
Or like the most ostentatious thing is like I think it's $4,000. I mean, we're not. This could change. We could add a $10,000. You get a statue that does nothing, and you just become executive producer of the game. Actually, like,
if someone wants it.
A friend of mine did buy executive producership of Indie Game the movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to be the executive producer of my game, just because that's what executive producers do. They give money.
Just give money and take the credit.
Hi, I'm the executive producer of Dungeons of Dredmor. It's a long story. Right now, the highest we have planned is $4,000 for concepting out your own optional dungeon.
Excellent.
And this may sound actually low to those of you. So those of you in the game industry, this will sound low, and those of you that are players, that's like $4,000. That's a lot of money. It is low, but the way we make our maps is only like art asset wise. About 20 hours of work is what we're averaging right now. We've switched from using an arcane tile-based tool set, and we took a hint from my friend Bill Sternberg. Actually, I might be saying his name wrong. I never, you don't go, hello, Mr. Stern.
I just Bill
from Zeboy. and how Bill makes his maps. He showed me how he made his maps. He came over to my place for a dev event, and it's just one big JPEG. Well, actually bitmap, because it's not lossy. He just makes one big bitmap per layer, and one of the tile artists, well, more now just map asset guys working, named Daniel Harris. He's Hyptosis on the internet. Prolific game maker on Newgrounds himself, and an amazing artist. And he can just make these beautiful maps that look like tile art, and actually do convert well to tile art too, that are just big images, and I can just put that in an engine, abstract it out, put zones in it. So like, it's about 20 hours of his time, about 10 hours of my time to do initial scripting, and cost benefit wise, that's actually we're still getting money. It's the goal with any Kickstarter. Anyone that's making any sane reward in Kickstarter, you need to make it so fulfilling the reward costs less than the money you're getting for the reward.
Yes.
This is simple economics. If $25 tier, you get a T-shirt. The T-shirt costs $30.
Hello.
I'm broker than I was before.
That's why physical rewards end up usually being a mistake.
Right. And we're trying to make sure that we have some appealing physical rewards, but at a limited and extravagant quantity. I guess our best physical reward is we're planning a working design style box set of the game.
Oh, nice.
And we have not. One of the reasons why we haven't launched the Kickstarter yet is we need to make sure that all the material is prepped and the pricing is priced out. But it's going to be a nicely designed box. I lean towards minimalism on the exterior design, so it's going to look like an Apple product a little on the outside. Sorry if you hate that, but it'll be white at least. And it'll be a nice box. It'll have an art book that's unique only to that. It'll have a jewel case with a USB drive in it.
Nice.
And the USB drive will have Mac, Linux, and PC versions on it, and a few redeem keys, so you can give them to your friends. Okay. And we're still working out like the other tchotchkes, right? Okay. My sister-in-law is a professional jeweler, and I've been like pinging her about what's the best cost-benefit ratio for like making something that's cool that is still affordable, won't make it $1 million, because like that. My brother still wears the lunar pendant.
Wow.
So, and when you're just wearing, it always seemed a little like something you should wear with a laser shoot, So anyway, I'm still mashing out those details. Yeah. But yeah, and that's going to be. It's going to be at least $150.
Yeah.
So it's going to be for only people that really want it, because give something that's really nice to people that really want it. But don't hold me to that. We're still pricing it out.
Yeah, still pricing it out. Yeah.
Because and it's going to.
And obviously, just getting the game will be significantly less than that. So.
Right. Yeah. And it's important to know, I want to set expectations right here. The physical rewards come out after the game.
Yeah.
You definitely get them, but the goal here isn't to delay the game. The goal here is specifically to make sure that this gets into people's hands at a high quality, so everyone enjoys it, and I'm proud of it, and things are good.
Oh, that's great.
Oh yeah, but anyway, sorry.
So when, how soon are we to getting to the point of having the Kickstarter come out?
I'm still working that out with my PR person. The plan was to do it the week before PAX.
Yeah. Welcome to indie game development.
Welcome to anything in business.
Yes.
Business is all about slipping deadlines.
Yeah.
My original deadline, my self-imposed deadline for this game was 6 weeks ago. I've done a lot of this in the past, and there's this adage in the software development world that says, beyond 3 months, you're making it up. You're making stuff up. Yeah. Family friendly. Because planning things is hard. We're nearly digital content complete for a fallback position, a less animated, shorter version of the story. We're going to be content complete there. Well, this month's just ending, right? 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
The scripting, like the map scripting, which is largely on my head. I've had team members leave because they ran out of money and I couldn't pay them. I've been focusing on paying the artists, and the other programmers are working for pure rev share. But my other scripter had to go take on a full-time job again. So like that halved my velocity. I'm doing pretty well in that regard, but I still have half the maps to script, and that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I would like to be doing that constantly for the next 3 months. But all things told, to be this far along at my deadline is apparently not a bad thing. No. don't know if I can talk. Like, I'm friends with the guys at Muteki, and Dragon Fantasy Book 2's initial deadline, I think, was in January.
Okay.
Don't use that until I confirm confirm that I can say that and that it's true. But like, you know, I have friends making similar or larger scale games that, you know, have slipped by over half a year.
Yeah.
And I've been hearing tell that slipping by 3 to 6 months, that's pretty much delivering. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I didn't have quite enough runway of my own. That's bad planning on my part.
So your dream's kind of coming true. You're making your game, and it's going to come out regardless, right? So
regardless,
whether the Kickstarter goes well, the Kickstarter goes bad.
I'm really nervous because I've been working on this kind of in a vacuum. I don't have a community of my own. I don't have a fan base. I mean, because I've never made anything.
Sure.
Really. I mean, Dredmor fans. This is a completely different game, and I mean, I was the executive producer. I can't use that fan base. I mean, I can ask my friends in the company to like help, but like
direct them over here.
But like, but I don't have like. It's not like. One of the bigger problems is that I see, and the other independent RPG makers out there, and there's a lot of us. There's at PAX East there were a good 10 different indie JRPGs of various flavors on the floor. I was on the floor at PAX East as well, and like it's a growing thing. We're all like trying to bring back this old style because we're not seeing this style of RPG coming out of Japan anymore. Sometimes you do, and it makes note. You know, like Ni no Kune had the old feel with gorgeous art. You know. But like, the feel is missing in a lot of the new JRPG stuff, you know, and coming out of Japan. And it seems like the American JRPG community, the AJRPG, is incipient. It's growing. Like, people are rallying around Zavoid and Muteki now, and Kangao with To the Moon. Like, these are all wonderful titles, and but like, there doesn't seem to be a large consensus voice area. Like, there's sites like your own, which are wonderful. But like,
where do they go for that? So.
It's just like where's the vocal community? Where's the fan building? And I've been trying to figure out how to get 2D JRPG fans to unite. Because like. People are like, well, why don't you greenlight? Why don't you do this? It's like, well, have you looked at greenlight feedback for JRPGs? They're violent. They're like, oh, this is RPG Maker crap. And it's like, well, first off, just because it's RPG Maker, I mean, my game is not RPG Maker, C#, hand-coded, but artisan-coded engine. Just because you make a game in RPG Maker if you choose to doesn't make it a bad game. That's just a platform. But like, it's hostile there, so you can't do that. And
so where is your community going to be centered on? Do you have a site? Do you have forums? Do you have anything? How about a Twitter?
My Twitter is @Bengru.
How do you spell that? B-E-N?
B-E-N-G-R-U-E.
Okay, with an E. All right.
Put an overlay. And like Adam from Muteki and I have some plans to do some short video podcasts, 5 minutes in length, about making JRPGs, and like just very narrow. This is how you pace a town. This is how you avoid these cliches. Don't make your maps too big. That's a huge one. Like, and it's just like a large series of just short, focused. If you're interested in this, these are things you need to consider. You know, type things. And I think we. I don't know if that's going to be the cornerstone of building a community, but. Yeah. We're spitballing this right now. My website is breadbros.com, BREADBROS.com.
Yeah.
And I am going to be throwing up some forums there after PAX. But please email me if you're interested in the game. Pre-order it if you want right now. You can pre-order it right now.
Before the Kickstarter, you can pre-order it?
You've been able to pre-order it the entire time, and if you pre-order it before the Kickstarter, I'll be giving you the same rewards at the $15 level.
Okay. That
you like the pre-order, the sale. So the the price of the game is going to be $15 on release. This isn't an iOS game. This is a long game with a lot of content that a lot of money went into.
Yeah.
You're paying for like a 20-hour experience. You don't bat an eye if you pay $7 a movie ticket.
Yeah.
I guess it's 10 now. Anyway, it's the pre-orders are $10. The pre-order gets you Windows, Mac, Linux copies. I can't pre-order the PlayStation Mobile versions if you want to play on the Vita.
Right.
And if you pre-order before the Kickstarter starts, you will get the same rewards that people at the $15 level would. So you're getting kind of a boost because I had been taking pre-orders, so I figured the really early adopters
for all of them.
deserve that. Yeah. And if any of the pre-order people want to back on Kickstarter at a much higher level, I'll just refund you the $10. So yeah,
sweet. All right, so breadbros.com right now if you want to pre-order it. Stay tuned to your Twitter, Ben Grew, to see for details of when the Kickstarter is going to launch, and
the video series,
and the video series with Adam from Muteki,
where it's called The Adventure Capitalists.
Ooh,
yes,
that's a good name.
We have monocles actually. I am not lying.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, bags. Yes.
You actually have monocles.
We are The Adventure Capitalists.
Excellent.
Yeah. When both of our games have shipped and hopefully sold, we'll have top hats.
All right.
Well, no.
Filled with money. So look forward to that coming soon. Thank you, Ben, very much. It's great seeing your game. Great seeing you. And stay tuned for more from RPGamer at PAX 2013.